Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, can you hear me this week? I see I had some auto difficulties last week.
Yeah, yeah, I could hear you a lot better actually this
Okay.
this this week.
All
How
right.
was your weekend, man?
You know the old man be ducked off, bro. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I wish I was outside with you Saturday night after I seen the
Ooh,
videos
I
on my
bet you
mama.
do. I bet you do.
I see they was outside though. I wish I would have went and got a fresh haircut if I knew it was cracking like that.
I ain't never seen San Luis Obispo like that, y'all. So for those that don't follow me on Instagram, I was outside in downtown Slow this weekend, and Cal Poly had an event at this really dope cafe called Cruiseburg, and it was just packed out, like just it was. Yo, it was like Atlanta in downtown Slow. It was
Bro,
turned up. I met the homie who threw the event, so I'm gonna try to link with him and throw some more events up here because he had it moving. He threw 3 events over the weekend, and all 3 of them were lit like that. So, in fact, I think it deserves a round of applause, man. He did his thing.
what's up, bro?
Yeah, so my bad. I didn't know if it was a delay. So
Oh no.
my internet be tripping. So I'm like looking at you. All right, so man, let's
Hey,
get into it first. TikTok ban, the TikTok ban, man. Are you a big TikTok user
yeah.
to
I,
begin with?
yeah, it was stagnant, bro. But once I had took one of the YouTube shorts and posted it on there, and it had hit like 9,000 views. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm over here now too with it, right? So I've been on there heavy lately, and so I was kind of disappointed that it was leaving, right?
Mm,
But I'm not one of those influencers that was making it like really crack. Like a lot of people don't understand. Like there's some like that's why I got on Keith Lee at, right? I remember when Keith Lee was doing the food reviews at his kids' Paw Patrol table in his living room. You know what I'm saying? I
okay.
remember I've seen a couple influencers crack off TikTok before YouTube or IG. So I understood what the ban meant to a lot of people that just start getting money off there. But then to the people that really like paid their way off there and then continue to strive their hustle, they weren't really tripping. They were just basically on there like, hey, thank you, TikTok community, right? But then I
Mm.
seen some females having some meltdowns, like, what am I doing with this? And then it was hilarious because I went to IG and made a post like, TikTok dead. All you got is YouTube and OnlyFans now. Go ahead, shake it, mommy. Let's go. 12 hours later, it was back up and cracking.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been back up and cracking. So for if you haven't been following along, basically ByteDance is a company out of Singapore, and the US says that it's a national security risk um to be allowed to operate in the United States because they can hack our data and all kinds of other shit. J Mags, what's good? Thank you for joining. Gideon Telehoon, that's the homie who threw the party this week. He's in the chat right now. What's
for
good?
sure.
Gideon, man.
Hey, tell him I need to be at one of them things, dog.
Yo, Gideon had it moving this weekend, man. Yo, he has. I don't know. See, I'm assuming he's not from Slow, but he has
Uh-huh.
Slow looking like it's never looked before. So shout out to him. Big Spence, cuz thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. So yeah, so the U.S. government basically banned TikTok because of security risks. But what's interesting is they actually kept it for themselves. So if you're part of the presidential administration, you can use TikTok, but if you're an American citizen, you can't use TikTok, which is interesting. Well, actually, during the ban, you couldn't use
Yeah.
TikTok. Then, a few hours later, just like Big Mike said, President Trump is about to get inaugurated. OG David James, thank you for joining. Mama GC, thank you for joining. And then, boom, TikTok comes back. You feel what I'm saying? I seen people crying all over the internet, crying that TikTok was gone. People flocked over to a new Chinese app called Xiaohongshu, as stands for red note. It means red note in Chinese. So people just flocked over to the Chinese version of TikTok, learning in Mandarin and the whole thing. And then a couple hours later, TikTok comes back and they have 90 days basically to sell 50% of the company to somebody in America. If they can accomplish that within the next 90 days, then they get to stick around. So I don't use TikTok like that. So to me, it didn't really affect my personal thing, but there is some business things I do on the side with TikTok that
Uh-huh.
actually were highly, highly impacted. So I'm glad that it's back because I can't even lie, man. Like on the business side,
Uh-huh.
TikTok not being there really fucks some shit up. It really
I
fucks
hate
some
to
shit
hear
up.
that, bro.
Yeah,
You
but I
know,
think I'm not sure that it's all the way fixed, but I think that
it is.
because it's gonna
So,
no, I'm saying I don't know about the thing that I was about to do. I don't know if it's
okay.
just because TikTok is back, I don't know that I still get to do the thing I was gonna do. You feel what I'm saying? So that's still up in the air. I'm gonna find out about it. But that got me to thinking, you feel what I'm saying? What if this happens again? What if TikTok doesn't sell in the next 90 days and it goes away? Should you as a content creator be putting all of your eggs in one basket? You feel what I'm saying? And I think no, you should spread out your content everywhere you can. So if if TikTok goes down, you still have your threads, you still have your Instagram, you still have your meta,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. Nitros Beats, Nasty Long Way, Gerald Purified. Thank you for joining. Nasty says, straight lace, no chase in the building. Uh, and started following. Thank you for the follower. Follow. Playmaker AC in the chat. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. Um, but there's a ton of other apps out there that are really dope that don't have the same traction. That if you post on there consistently, you could be the next superstar on these apps. They have millions of views. And so for those of you that don't know, Connect the Coast, just we have a membership program. You can go to connxct.club, become a member. It's free to join. And we post updates about what's going on in the 805 and just what's going on in the culture. And one of these updates, I talked about the TikTok update. That's what you see on your screen. But I also gave suggestions for other apps that you should try just in case this happens again. So one of them is Spill. Have you ever heard of Spill?
Nah, you putting me on right now, Playboy.
So Spill is super, super dope. It's kind of like it's imagine if TikTok allowed you to create your own magazine, kind of. So every
Oh,
post is like its own magazine. So you can do video, you can do picture, you can do text, and you can kind of create your own mini magazine with every post. But it's basically a black app, black owned. Most of the users are black. Very dope design. Very new, but they have a user base. They have a lot of partnerships. So if you post a lot of content, I mean, not everybody on there is black, but it is a black app. So, if you post hip hop content, you post black
uh-huh.
content, there's a high chance for you to go viral and get a whole new audience. So we are on there. Check us out. Spill, follow, Connect the Coast. Another one is called Space Hey. Have you ever heard of Space Hey?
Nah, you putting me on right now.
So Space Hey is another app that we're on. Definitely check it out. I love Space Hey because it's set up exactly like MySpace. So you can have a top 8 and everything. So it's just like the old school MySpace shit. So check out Space Hey, check out Connect the Coast. You can create your own bulletins, your own blogs, your own communities on there. They have actually a lot of users I think they just crossed 1 million users worldwide. So you can go viral on there and you can update your profiles like you could the old MySpace profiles, and it's just really vintage and throwback. So I like that. Check it out. It's called Space Hey. And then Orb is the third one that I recommend. So Orb is another app where it's really cool because
I've heard
you
of that.
you
Yeah.
can monetize every single post. So you know what I'm saying? If you post a picture, or if you let's say if you post a video that you only want your members to see, you can charge $5 for that post and people have to pay to see it, basically. Or you can
Okay.
people that follow me can see the post or whatever. And these are all features that you get access to as soon as you sign up. You don't have to have 10,000 followers or whatever
Okay. Okay.
for access to the features. You get them as soon as you sign up. So these are 3 apps that you guys can check out just in case TikTok goes down again. If you want access to these kind of updates and this kind of information, the link is in our bio. It says get 805 updates, but I put out emails like this on the weekly basis. But that makes me want to ask you, Big Mike, if TikTok doesn't make it over the next 90 days, where are you mainly gonna be at?
First of all, I'm about to check out those first two that you told me, right? But
Mhm.
as you catch me on IG and YouTube every day. Well, not every day, but that's where I've been at. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm gonna stay. Especially with the YouTube, man. The thing about YouTube is it's cut and dry of what you got to do to get some bread. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my laziness is just is the first problem that's going is wrong with that. But me being over here with you every week is the motivation to be on there. Like last night, I couldn't wait to get back on here with you. I said, well, I'll just get up and post me a short about Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? And you know, but yeah, if TikTok do get banned again, which I think is not. I think Trump got something up his sleeve. He didn't jumped in the office today on pure bullshit. So you know what I'm saying?
Look who it is.
Oh, look who it is.
Shut your ass up, nigga.
Hey,
You always talking some cat,
hey,
nigga.
hey, cuz mad at me right now, so I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Nah, this nigga.
I said something on a post today. I knew I knew as soon as he said something right now, he's still not happy with me.
Nah, you mad? You mad because my shit luxurious, nigga? Don't be mad, nigga.
Hey,
Ain't no
I'm
lace
done.
front, nigga.
I'm
hey,
Ain't no
hey,
dead.
lace
hey,
front,
hey.
nigga.
I told that nigga, is that a lace front?
Stop. Oh, no wonder that nigga mad. You a fool. You a fool. Yeah, nah, he should be upset with you for that, my nigga.
Nah,
Um
my shit luxurious, nigga. Ain't no lace front, nigga. It's hard work, nigga.
I
Hard.
just dropped the chat the newsletter subscription in the chat. So if you want to subscribe, you can. Trap God in the chat, active always in the chat. Emmanuel sings the faux card ledge in the chat, and so is the kid. Let's go. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. Uno, we talking about the TikTok ban and then the
Yes, sir.
reinstatement, and it might go away again. Have you
As
been
they say,
keeping up
90
your
days or some shit
thoughts?
like that. They said 90 days or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, so TikTok has 90 days to sell 50% to a US company or else it will be banned apparently.
Yeah, I think the way the world went crazy over an app is kind of absurd, but you know what I mean? Like I think that's to be expected. I get it though, like if you put your whole eggs in one basket and you hope for the best, you know what I mean? I can understand you stressing out, but we don't stress out over here about shit like that. But
You know,
yeah,
you bring up an interesting
Bless you.
point because
excuse me.
the thing that really I mean, it doesn't frustrate me, it confuses me is that like people act like you can't do the same thing that you do on TikTok on any other app. Like they all do, they all do the same thing. The only reason that certain things are popular on one app versus another is because of how people choose to consume shit on the apps. It's like people act like TikTok is a whole different world and a whole different thing. It's just like, no, y'all behave differently over there on YouTube, on TikTok than you do on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I mean, on any other app. So it is interesting how people see it differently when in my mind it's the same. It's just like a back road to the same destination. You know what I'm saying?
I seen the difference of like the reactions. Like I'll post a short on YouTube, right? And some
Mm-hmm.
will go crazy on YouTube, some will go crazy on TikTok. And that's just the algorithm, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
also seen that the audience is different. There's an older crowd that I deal with on YouTube, and there's a younger and there's a mixed crowd I deal with on on TikTok. But the
Tupac.
reactions in the reactions in the comments are way different. Like I post something on YouTube and they like, shut your old ass up, shut up old man, what is you doing? I posted on TikTok, they like, yeah, talk that shit. I be like, boy, it's two different worlds. And that's the only thing I think the algorithm on YouTube is way different than the way they place your videos, you know what I'm saying? So on YouTube they shoot your videos to what the you subscribe to and what you're interested in and who reshares your video. Where more so on TikTok, they just line you up. When you post it, it's right there for you page. You know what I'm saying? And you
Mm-hmm.
just gonna catch it how you catch it. And I've seen it. And like I'm not one of the ones that trip off the numbers because I know what comes from hard grinding, right? But that's the whole thing about TikTok. They giving out so much bread and it's easier to go viral on TikTok. I've seen that too. It's way easier to run up the views on TikTok than it is YouTube. And that's what they're crying about. I totally agree with Uno. It shows the state of our societies in of how females were crying like
Mm-hmm.
literally distraught. Like one female was like, I paid my rent $2,000 a month. I just want got me a Mercedes AMG. Well, what did you think was gonna happen? They've been telling you this shit was over. I don't want you know what I'm saying? OnlyFans, let me tell you, OnlyFans is always an option for these females. I do not know.
Yeah, I think that for me, it's one of those things that I talk about this a lot because I it's like a double-edged sword. I think on one hand, I see the value in like everybody having a voice and everybody feeling represented, and I see value in that. But on the other hand, when it comes to things like entertainment, I do think that I personally, my perspective is I like to see the best of the best be at the top of the food chain when it comes to entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't get a kick out of seeing an average nigga be at a top spot in entertainment, but we live in a society that does. You know what I'm saying? I think most people, when they see an average person in a top spot, then they say, "Oh, that means I could do it too." You know what I'm saying? And they elevate the, and that's kind of been the argument I've been hearing about TikTok is like it's the everyman's app. It's where the average person, they don't have to have a lot and they don't have to work hard and they can still go viral. And it's like, but then that's kind, in my mind, that's kind of part of the problem, right? Like,
Yeah.
because it's, it creates so much noise that it devalues everything it consumes, right? Like to me, TikTok, it's not TikTok's fault. It's the way that we consume content, and TikTok kind of accelerated that. But look what it did to music, man. Like people don't, TikTok is a big part of the reason why people can only listen to 10-second clips of music and they only know the hook, the main part of music. They don't know a whole song. They don't even know who sings the song. You know what I'm saying? Like now more than anything, if somebody hears a song, if I'm out in public and I'm people watching and people hear a song they recognize, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to hear them say, "Oh, I heard that on TikTok." They don't say like, "Oh, this song is dope. This artist is dope. I love this." They're going to refer to this song based on a piece of content they saw somebody else do to it. And it's just like a background piece to content. The song itself has no value. And I think that's, you know, I'm not a fan of that. That I'll say that. I'm not a fan of what culture has become in that sense, you know,
I think
if I'm making sense.
you are. I do think that man, nigga, every time I talk, I feel like I gotta sneeze like a fucking cat in this motherfucker. We gotta get rid of this bitch. Um, this nigga gotta go. On God.
Bake, what's good? Jelly
Uh,
Man, what's good?
this
That guy Tailgate, thank you for
nigga gotta
joining. He said, "I
go.
love you, but you out."
I ain't even allergic to cats. I didn't even know all that, nigga.
you
Now I'm
can
over here.
you can develop an allergy though. Like that's happened to me. I didn't have them, and now I do have them.
You know
Okay.
what it is? You got, if you get around them, you're gonna find out if you're allergic or not, bro.
Okay, yeah, because them motherfuckers be making me sneeze and shit. I'm like, yo, nah, this nigga gotta live outside or something. Um, I do think though, like with TikTok, I do think it is one of those apps though that, to your point, it does create normacy, right, in artists, but it also creates an avenue for talented artists to be shown. I think like on Instagram and YouTube now, is less that those are the exposing tactics just because that they're oversaturated, right? It's like YouTube is where Justin Bieber was made. So, but that nigga's 20, I think it's 32. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Mhm.
like, it's been a long time since YouTube people can get cooked off, and then most of it is through covers. Instagram is through like reels. You got to kind of come up with a visual to make niggas interested in it in 90 seconds. I think with TikTok, it does create the avenue for artists to get popping. So, like, for example, Randy. Like Randy has dropped a song and his shit's going viral on TikTok and he's cooking up steam off of the TikTok sample, but he's actually a talented guy,
Mhm.
Or like I don't know if you guys are too familiar. It's kind of like switching the conversation a little bit, but Plaque Boy Max. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know who
yeah,
that is,
yeah. We
and
talked about him with the. We talked about him.
yeah, he's doing the shit on Twitch, whatever, TikTok, using TikTok as the leeway, but he's pretty much gritting artists and they're making songs on stream. And those songs are now going like hella viral on TikTok with DDG, one of his, he did one, and Uno the activist, he just did one, and now those songs are like charting and they're doing big because of the push of TikTok and him kind of creating it on that on the stream slash TikTok thing and letting people kind of feel and create with it. So I feel like those avenues with talented people, yeah, we can do it on Instagram and yeah, you can do it on YouTube, but like you can't really do it like
I
everything is
mean,
kind of your fan base versus TikTok is the algorithm allows different people that aren't in your circle to hit it versus YouTube they got to be subscribed to you and Instagram they got to follow you, you know.
I feel that. Big Time Bake says, yo, Dooley 2x2 in the chat. Dirto official in the chat. Thank you for joining. Key says the songs end up being bigger than most of the artists. And I do think that is a problem on social, like that on TikTok specifically, but on social media in general. That's what it's done. It's allowed the songs to become bigger than the artists. But beyond that, because that's always happened, right? Like the song, there's been plenty of songs that have been bigger than the artists before social media. But
I
oh,
think
and
that's
Adam Lynch
normal.
in the chat
I think
and
that's
says Thug
normal,
Life,
right?
stay blessed, cousin. That's
Like I
that's
think
normal.
that's
That's normal.
normal
That
when you have a microwave hit, right? Like where you just have a hit that's not really pushed, it kind of just comes out of nowhere. Like you didn't even get. That's kind of
that's
like what I think about Shabuzi, right? Like
that's pretty much what a one hit wonder
I
is
don't know
when the
what that
song
nigga
is
look like, but
when the
if I
song
stand
is
there
bigger
walking the
than the
street,
artist.
that nigga got a smash though. Like I would have no idea what cut look like though. Like
Yeah, like I think songs have always been bigger than the artist, and that's the difference between like a Jay-Z and a one hit wonder. But what's up, Adam? I see you. But I think for me, I think what I have a problem with and what I see in a perfect world, I think content creators helping musicians get their music out and go viral is dope. And I think that's a dope collaboration, but we don't live in a perfect world. And what I see a lot of is content creators taking sole credit for artists' success because they have the platform. You know what I'm saying?
I think
And then really downplaying the artist like the artist ain't shit.
I agree, but I think Black Boy is a different example of that.
I'm
Just
not saying
because
he's doing that at all.
he's
I'm not.
producing the beats, so
Yeah,
like he's producing and engineering on shit versus the label paying Kai to, you know what I mean, to boost your
true.
song, which I
And
agree with. You know what I
and to
mean?
be clear, I'm not saying that Black Boy is doing that, but I do think I've seen influencers do that, and it opens the door to other influencers who, especially
hundred
outside of
percent.
the culture, to downplay artists. And I don't like that shit. But it's not everybody doing it. I do think that like there is a marriage between content creators and musicians that is really dope. But I think even to your point, Uno, like the way I see it, and I could be wrong, but I think the main difference between the Instagram and TikTok algorithms is that with Instagram and TikTok, like, so I have been tailoring my Instagram and YouTube algorithms since YouTube and Instagram came out. So all I see is new artists, dope new artists, 805 shit, fashion, all the shit I like, tech, fashion, 805 music, and then just hip hop in general. Those are like the four things I see on all my YouTube and Instagram feeds. But because I was consciously tailoring, making sure that I don't see no fuck shit on my, I don't see like just random fuck shit on my
But they're
feed
random.
because
What I mean is they're random, not random, right? Like I'm not meaning you're not 100% because that's what's on my feed. Like what I tailor to my shit,
right.
superhero shit. I don't never see bitches. Like I don't tailor my Instagrams to see. I know it's weird. I know most niggas think that's weird, but I don't see no girl. I have all girl following,
Mm.
and I on my Explorer there's no females on any of my social medias. I just don't like to look at that personally. Like I
Uh,
don't like to window shop for real. So I just don't do it. But I understand what you mean, but TikTok is just a little different
Well, yeah,
cuz
that's what I was gonna say. Like TikTok
yeah,
is different in the sense that the for you feed, TikTok just keeps you scrolling. So it's gonna feed
yeah.
you things. But that comes back to my point is that
But feed
the
you what you want, but
true
like
as it
outside
learned.
also as it like outside also, but inside also cuz I'll see your shit or I'll see Big Mike shit, and I may not follow Big Mike prior to that. But
Yeah,
on Instagram, it'll give me a nigga in Russia. You know what I mean? It ain't
Right.
gonna give me no local type shit.
Right. But
yeah,
I mean, don't do so. But I think that it comes back to when you don't have to hunt down things that you like. I think it devalues those things. Like if you look back to the era where when you wanted to learn about hip hop and be a part of the culture, you had to like go to the store, get a Source magazine. If you didn't live in a big city and you were detached from the hip hop culture, you had to go get a magazine. You had to really like get
That's
on,
why
go
niggas
to
know what every magazine is. If I ask y'all
exactly.
to name all the hip hop magazines, y'all can name
yeah,
every
Yeah,
hip hop
and you could
magazine.
name
You
all
know
the
what I mean?
artists in it. You could name the
I can
producers.
too.
You
You know
can,
what I mean?
you know what I'm
Yeah.
yeah.
saying? But because people don't have to do that, because there's a For You feed where they're just fed shit, it that's the state of the culture that we're in. So I can see
I
a
get
po-
that point. I get
a
that
po-
point. Yeah.
a positive. I can see something like TikTok going away being positive because it makes people have to get back on a good foot to be a part of the culture. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, I'm talking like if we lived in a
Yeah,
perfect world, but I could see a positive too. But I do see a benefit to everybody having a
I,
voice and to everybody having a chance to go viral. But
I,
I also don't think that everybody should be famous. I just
I,
don't think
oh
that.
no, I totally agree
Famous and
with you with
viral
that.
are two different things, though. I
I
think.
totally agree with you with that. But at the same time, man, it's just what you feed yourself. Like you just said, man, I had to go back and retrain the algorithm because I'm like, damn, I'm feeding myself something. It's too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to unfollow the Vlads. I had to unsubscribe to the no jumpers. You know what I'm saying? Once it got to the point where I seen it was affecting how I treated straight lace no chase, and I was going down the rabbit hole of doing that messy shit. I had to retrain it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And with that, like I agree, it will be a good thing of people really having to get out and learn something. You know what I'm saying? And train yourself because you also get in the round of digesting some shit you don't want to digest.
Hmm.
You know what
Or
I'm saying?
what I to me the biggest problem is like in theory it's cool that you're being fed shit that you've never seen before and might never
Yeah,
see, right? But when the problem with groupthink, when something goes viral that's not dope, then there's so many other you can be convinced that something that's not dope is dope just because a whole lot of other people like it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I think that's the problem with social media is like there's too many people who don't have taste, who are not good curators saying, oh, this is the dope thing. And then everybody just jumps on board and agrees with it when it's trash. You know what I'm saying? And I
yeah.
think that's the current landscape we live in that I'm trying to like avoid because I hate it like the plague. Hold on. Nasty Longway says, man, DDG has come a long way from being a YouTuber. I kind of take him serious now. I've been taking DDG serious the whole time. DDG is my favorite new rapper. Period.
Okay.
Me,
I
period.
want to
Like,
say something about that too. I don't want to cut you off, but
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, actually, let me say what's up to everybody in the chat and then go ahead. So, Bless G, thank you for joining. Rob Salazar, what's up, Rob? Ricky the P,
What's up, Rob?
Gerald Purify in the chat. He says, agreed, fame isn't for everyone. Nasty Longway says, a lot of money from fame isn't for everyone either. And then Gerald Purify says, I think people should focus on being effective. I agree. I
yeah,
agree.
I think DDG, the comment on DDG, I think when you look, I think people have a misconstrued of like, I just don't like the word taken serious, right? Because it's
Mhm.
like taking what serious? Like taking him as an entertainer serious. He was entertaining you when he was streaming. That's why you knew of him before he was a rapper. Taking his rap serious, he tours. So like before you would quote unquote take his rap serious. So I'm just be curious on that because all this is about entertainment. So if a nigga's an entertainer in any facet of an entertainer and he has millions of fans that support him, you should take him I think you should take him serious because he puts in the work, he puts in the hard work. I don't really get what that means.
I think for me, the crazy thing is, so the first time I heard of DGG was rapping. I didn't know shit about his streaming career. And when I heard him rap, I was like, oh, the nigga could rap. And so I
Yeah,
just liked him. And then when I found out he was a streamer, it was too late. I already liked him as a rapper. So I wasn't going
Yeah.
to not
I
take him
think he
quote
said
unquote serious.
lyrics. He said lyrics.
lyrics after seeing his life day to day for so many years. But I can see how if you know somebody as something else, like Donald Glover, for instance. I knew Donald Glover as a
as an actor.
comic book nerd, actor,
But he's
writer, you
hard
know.
though. But he's
And
But
hard.
so,
then,
So
but
but when he
I,
it
first
don't
came in the
matter though,
game,
right?
people, to me that didn't matter, but I saw how it affected how other
yeah,
people perceived him,
I
Yeah.
was
and
one
that
of them. I was one of them people, bro. When I heard that nigga buzz, nigga, my eyes was like, whoa. I like whoa because I knew him. Just what you said, comic book nerd,
I mean,
great,
people do that
great,
for sure.
a great actor. So it's the thing. Outside of Drake and his acting, when I see these other people like rap and really buzz, and it be some meaningful shit. You didn't just hop out here with the trend like Jello right now. You know what I'm saying? You didn't just give us nothing that was some old bop. You know what I'm saying? You hit me with some shit, and you come with a fly ass visual, and you just and I'm perceiving you because it's always different when you're on the outside looking in and the inside looking out. You feel me? So when I see it, I'm like, damn, the nigga really get down. That shit shocked the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? So as in like he's saying about DDG, I felt the same way because I didn't know him by nothing but a streamer, and I'm also hearing different addicts that are outside the streaming world. You know what I'm saying? And then when I hear him bust, I'm like, oh damn, the nigga can rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I
I
don't.
felt,
I mean, yeah, I get that point of when they show you their
uh,
skill talent of
yeah,
being like surprised that they have a new skill talent. I get
yeah,
that aspect,
yeah,
but I'm more so talking about like, all right, let's use Jamie Foxx for example, since he's one of
uh-huh.
the best entertainers in the world. When you first got Jamie Foxx on the Jamie Foxx show, or whenever you peeped him, it wasn't singing Jamie Foxx. So when he started,
No, because if you follow Jamie, bro, that didn't surprise me because if you really followed him as a stand-up comedian, right? Or Living Color, you knew he had singing talents, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, but
then
being able
but
to
then
chop and having singing talents is two
but
different things, though,
no,
right?
but when he started singing and blowing it and went with a full R&B tape, it didn't surprise me. That was way different because I could see that he can harmonize. You know what I'm saying? A lot of actors can,
So
but
did
he was
Eddie
on the
Murphy surprise you?
hell no, he didn't surprise me, bro.
So Eddie Murphy singing didn't surprise you at all.
No, because that wasn't his song. That was Rick James' song.
Yeah, okay, but it's the nigga singing. I don't care who
And
wrote
let
the
me tell
damn
you,
song. I
let me
mean,
tell you something. That's some shit I didn't take seriously. I knew they was in the studio for 24 hours playing with their nose, and then they
but the
that
put something
part.
nigga,
together.
but the nigga can sing though. He did a whole album, multiple. So it's
Bro,
not a matter what you took it serious or
that
not.
album was trash, bro. That album was trash. It had one single off it. You like to party all the time, Uno. That's the only shit
Real
that
quick
was
though,
off
is
that.
in the chat.
I
What's
mean, I
good?
wasn't in the '80s, so yeah, I'm gonna go with the hit that oversee time. So for sure, I'm always do party. I'm gonna say the Rick James joint, but it's that nigga singing. So that's the point that I'm making. Like, if you hear that, of course you're gonna be surprised because it's a new talent.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised from an aspect of like, oh, I'm so shocked the nigga could do that. I'm so
No,
shocked the nigga has talent to do that. Like,
I'm not putting the X's on it. Is I was so shocked. I just be surprised, bro. And then I salute a motherfucker. It wasn't trash. It's the motherfuckers that hop out that ain't, you know what I'm saying? It ain't surprising
Eddie
when you hop
Murphy
out
got a
there.
hit though, so who cares
What'd
if
you
you
say?
can't sing?
What'd you
Nah,
say, brother?
the nigga in the
No,
chat
Adam
said
said
Oh,
Eddie can't sing,
Eddie
and he's
can't
saying
sing. Who
Mo in
cares?
the chat. What's good, Mo? DJ the Princess. Kanye is the best example of not being taken seriously at first. Look, man, Kanye is,
Stop,
Kanye
stop, stop.
is the
Don't be
best at
disrespectful.
painting himself as a victim, bro. He's
Yo,
the
you're
best.
so
He is
disrespectful,
the best
dog.
at look, hear me out. He's the best at painting himself as a victim because he was saying that he wasn't being heard as he's fucking with no ID, as he's fucking with Rockefeller, as he's
As a
in
rapper, as a
as he's
rapper.
in rooms. I don't give a fuck, bro. He is in
What
rooms that
do you mean?
nobody could get into. Bro, he was in the
Yeah,
most
but
elite rooms in the world talking about nobody's gonna give me nobody's giving me a shot. Like what? Knock it off,
that's
no,
true.
bro.
I hear
Knock
no.
it
I
off.
I
That's
agree.
true,
I
Uno.
agree
That's
to.
true.
I agree. I agree.
That's true. And
Any
he's a
nigga who's
victim,
in
bro.
that a victim is crazy.
No.
It's
No,
crazy because
hold on. You didn't let me
yeah.
finish.
Go ahead.
No, I agree with the Lord said. He be playing victim, cuz that's what I'm saying. He do.
I
But
don't
bro,
want to use that scenario as a
but
case
but
because
but
I
but
can
hold on, bro.
agree
I
with the
remember.
stance.
No, hold on. Let's go back to how he said, "Man, I was with Jay and Damon. They never had to believe in me and rap." Nigga, shut up. You was indoors. Niggas couldn't even get in at that time.
But if
You
I sound okay, boom, I'll use KO for example. I'll use KO and Lord Sanctus as an example. If I sign KO and as KO, which is battle rapper, bars, backpack joint. That's what I signed the nigga for. If that nigga saying I can do attention, I can do saying elsewhere, I can do writing hits, I can actually go outside of that, and I'm like, you know what, nigga? Nah, here. It's the Lupe effect. We can't sit here and say Lupe was lying because the nigga bitching about he got kick push. Yeah, it is the number one joint. The Cool's the number one album in the country. But that ain't what he want to make. So we can't be like, just because he got that. That's some whole ass shit, low key. Because if that's like, don't expect more. Just be grateful for what I gave you.
I'm not
That's
saying
like
that.
no
I'm not saying
negotiation
that
on
at all.
what I
I'm just
gave
saying
you.
I don't want to hear your bitch ass complain because you
I just
like
don't like
stop.
that example. You can say it in any other area. I would agree with you. But in that area, I just don't think that's fair. Because if I sign you as a producer and I'm only saying, nigga, play me your beats, and you like, oh, I'll put a verse on here. Fuck your verse. Play me your beats. You gonna feel
Yeah,
the
and I
same
think
way.
that's normal. Like everybody got to go through that. Like if I hire you as an engineer, like nigga, I don't want to hear your melody ideas. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. Like just send me
I
the beat.
understand.
Don't send me no references, nigga. Like,
I
but that's some
understand
whole
that,
ass shit. If
but
the
I
nigga
also
Kanye,
at the same time, like if the way that we all know the way that Ye got on, like one of the first major rap verses I ever heard from Ye was on the Blueprint 2
was on the
on
whole.
that Just Blaze beat, and I love that beat.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hit up if I get that joint.
yeah, no,
No, that's on Ye shit.
I can't.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the
I forgot
faster
the joint.
song,
Yeah, yeah.
but basically the way he got on that, and he said that's one of the first major verses he ever got out there, and the way he got on that was he just was in the studio making beats for Jay, and he rapped his verse, and Jay was like, "Oh, I like that. You're on the album now. You're on the Blueprint too." And after that is when I heard him start complaining and being like, "Nobody would give me a shot." I'm like, "Yo,
But
nigga,
you're
like."
hearing his story though prior to that. I don't think it was that. I think it was prior to that. I could be
True, but
wrong, but I think it
you're
was
no,
prior to
he
the
a
whole
lot of his
verse.
complaints are prior to that, but even still, like, no ID is your neighbor, bro. Like you were never not listened to, is my
So
point.
you
Like,
feel like
there's never a point.
Pharrell should never complain to Chad. You feel like, hey nigga, if he like,
No, I think he could complain to Chad. I don't want to hear that. I'm not Chad. I should have known this.
Yeah,
yeah,
You know,
I
I
think
get it.
I think you going over what he's saying. He just don't want to hear this shit, and
I
I
get
don't
it.
want to hear you advocating for these crying ass niggas either. Cause you a tough guy, nigga. Get aggressive, nigga. You
Let's
advocating for a
stop.
crybaby.
I
No,
look.
cause you advocating for a crybaby and you don't do no crying. That's why I
Graham
fuck
C in the
with you,
chat
cuz.
was good.
I feel like this. If I have an opinion on something, I feel like I should voice my opinion on something.
Okay,
Now, if I feel like
and
there's
I've
a
been listening to you voice your opinion, but like I said, you advocating for crybabies right now. Fuck that crybaby ass nigga.
I'm advocating for speaking and knowing worth. So you can laugh, but I'm being dead ass. Like
But
I'm
I
no,
being dead ass. Like
so
if you feel like if I cut you a check, my nigga, and we just had this conversation yesterday. If you feel like your worth is X amount, and I'm like, nah, nigga, but you do the numbers and you show me that your worth is something, and I'm like telling you, no, nigga, I don't even want to
hey,
hear that shit. This is
hey,
what it is.
cuz what
You
hey
would go
cuz
on
when I
all platforms on this
hey,
platform
hey,
and be like, nigga, fuck this nigga.
hey, but listen, when I laugh,
What we
cuz
saying?
don't think that I'm disrespecting your
I know,
opinion,
I don't
cuz
take it as
cuz I did not
disrespect.
like when you just said that, cuz you can laugh all you want. Nigga.
That's a fact, though. That's a fact.
but I
You
think
laughing because I've said something. I don't take it as
yeah, yo,
disrespect. I ain't
Uno, I
saying
think
no.
we're having two
It's
different
a fact, though.
conversations though. Graham C, what's good? He says Ye is a musical genius and a terrible person. I would call him a general genius. Uh,
It's crazy.
I wouldn't call him a general genius. Adam Lynch says Ye is a genius and a crazy man. He's all right though. Dilla Bass just joined. Sierra Love just joined. AJ80 just joined. Thank you for joining. Please share the stream if you wouldn't mind. I think that's two different conversations, Uno. I think
It
I
is.
am
It
I'm
is.
100% for advocating for your worth. And I get that it took me a long time. Like I did not
Low key,
have
it's swaying the goalpost a little bit.
but not even beyond that. Like I had media training behind the scenes early. So like if you behind the scenes media training is like knowing how to conduct an interview. If somebody interviews you, you know how to answer the right questions. I had that kind of media training early, but there's a knowing how to read the media and knowing how when people make certain moves in the media, that is it means something else.
Yeah.
I didn't have that kind of media training until recently. And so it took me a while to understand that when Ye goes on Sway and complains and does that, he's using the media to sway a deal happening in the background, right? And like it took me a minute to understand that. So I get what he was doing, but as somebody who was trying to get the same type of deals that he was getting when during that time, and I'm over here, I don't like Ye says he produces something and he has 30 niggas in the room helping with the beat. I say I produce something and it's just me doing it. But I hear him on the biggest platform in the world saying how nobody gives him a chance and how
That's Dr. Dre too, though.
and yeah, but and if I heard Dr. Dre say that he nobody gave him a chance, I'd say the same thing, nigga. I
I feel
don't
you.
want to hear it.
I feel you. I do want to real quick though. I do want to ask y'all something real quick. Change the
Yeah.
subject a little bit. I had brought up. I had a theory. Big Mike not gonna like my theory. Hopefully he hears my theory.
I listen
So
to you. I listen to you all the time. So don't be saying that shit.
I'm
Cause
just, hey, Nat, come on, OG. I'm just talking. I'm just talking shit. Look, so on the Kendrick and Drake shit.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, you see how I said the precursor, and he still couldn't control himself. Look, so uh, I do want to say real quick. I have a theory that this was a plan from the beginning. That I feel like that Drake, kind of going to what you were saying about media training that goes into the bigger surface of things, like how to negotiate, how to go, the tactics of doing post or newscast or whatever the case may be. I feel like I feel like he was so arrogant that, and the niggas that he were going against was so powerful that they have made it look like he has self-sabotaged himself. And I feel like this is a play from the beginning to initiate that self-sabotageness, because he's so arrogant that he would never focus on one particular person, which was the big person that he was trying to get to in the beginning, which was Lucian, and not deal with the bait that came from all this. All this started from a nigga saying, it's just big me, fuck the big three. All this started from a legacy killing of a legend from that particular verse. And I feel like how he's gone about it and how his tactics are about it, I feel like even if he saw it, I take that as the arrogance of when he feeling like he can win the rap battle and win the bigger battle at the same time. And I feel like low key, he just wasn't seeing that the bigger battle was happening until too late, which is why the lawsuit happens now. And I feel like all this from the beginning was a negotiation tactic, because if you look at net worth, if I'm Lucian and I own everything and I'm only worth $250 million, but my company is worth X amount of money, but the money that I make is majority from you and Taylor Swift and The Weeknd, that means that you guys have higher leverage. And I keep giving you bread. I keep just forking it to you. Whenever you ask, I sign it. Interviews. When Lucian says he needs bread, here you go. When I hit up Lucian and I say I need a number, Lucian cut the check. Lucian on an interview. Whenever Drake hit me and he said he need this, I cut the check. No questions asked. Now there's a problem, because now my son just took over this label. So now we own all the shareholds of the music industry. Now, if I cut you $1 billion deal, you'll be that nigga. You'll be in that power. It's the same thing that Michael Jackson tried to do, what Prince tried to do, because Drake owns Gamma. Drake owns percentages of people's contracts. That's why everybody got this beef with him. So I just feel like it's such a bigger play at whole, but niggas are so like one track minded